Yo, YouTube, what's up? So we're on the last few questions of Form A on the 2017-18 SHSAT. That's the one I'm going over. If you don't have a copy of that, you can email me at GregsTutoringNYC@gmail.com. Hopefully this stream lasts about a half an hour, and then we'll see what we're up to. So I'm just going to jump right into this today. I have a bad headache. I got other stuff to do, so let's go to question 108. Let me just double check the stream is live because there's always a problem with YouTube, especially now. Lots of problems. They changed something about a week and a half ago, and I have a lot of problems trying to get connected up. All right, so let's jump into 108. A sports store has a container of handballs, 4 blue, 5 red, 8 yellow, 9 white, and 11 green. So normally I would start tallying these up over here. I'm not sure what the question is that. So if one ball is picked from a container at random, what is the probability that it will be yellow? Yeah, so we are gonna do a tally up. It's a nice long list this time. Normally it's 3 or 4. So we have 4 blue, 5 red, 8 yellow, 9 white, and 11 green. So I'll make sure I have those. 4 blue, 5 red, 8 yellow, 9 white, and 11 green. So we're gonna total that. So we got 9, 16, 17. 17 plus 20 is 37. I'm gonna do it backwards. 20, 28 plus 9 is 37. Okay, so our total is 37. And so that might be the nastiest part of this problem if you know how to do it. So there's all that in the container. If one ball is picked from the container at random, what is the probability that's a yellow? So it's going to be the total yellow over the total number of balls. So we're going to get 8 out of 37. That one is straight up as that, or it should be 108. Should be G, yes. Let's just nitpick the other answers. 1 out of 37 is true as well. And by the way, you've seen this. This is at least the 3rd example of this nature on this one form alone, and it might even be the 4th. There is a probability of 1/37th, but then I ask you, what's the probability of taking any ball? If there's X balls, the probability is 1 over X. So if there's 100 ball, it'll be 1/100th. But they're specifically asking about yellow ones, because otherwise, what would be the point of the question? You know, this is not really a second grader question. Anyway, if you took the test sequentially, and you don't have to take it sequentially. In fact, I would suggest that kids don't take it sequentially. Just skip to the questions you can do first, and then go back to the ones you can't. And there's a whole bunch of other strategies to deal with that. But if you want to skip this question and you're not sure, make an educated guess and then come back to it too. Remember too, you only have about 1.5 minutes per question, and all this double checking and coming backness, it's hard to do on a test like this. A lot of kids don't even finish it one go through. So in a lot of cases, you want to be able to shoot through this, which is why when I'm going over the examples, I'm showing you alternate ways to do them so that you can do it right there on the spot. And some of the alternate ways, including some of the ways I'm showing you straight up, they're fast kind of solutions. And even though the SHSAT does have kind of involved questions and so on, none of the questions are made to take 15 minutes long. And they're all made to take about 1 minute each, okay? And enough of them you should be able to get done in 20 seconds. Yeah, there's going to be a few of them that might take 5 minutes and so on. And this is true in both the ELA section and in the math section. And all different things, including the grid-ins, including the revising and editing, including the reading comprehension, whatever section it is, they're all made to be of that nature. So a kind of red flag and a tap on your shoulder should be if you're taking too long to solve a problem, you're probably doing it wrong. That said, there are some solutions to problems that do take a while. We had the probability one similar to this involving the banana, where if we did the alternate way, that one would actually take a couple of minutes to do because there's too many complications for that. All right? All right, so that's 108. Let me just make sure we're still live. Yes, we are. I see a couple of live streamers out there. welcome to say hello. If not, catch you guys on the replay. All right, so let me go to the next question. Okay, I believe I have to drag that onto the screen. Okay, 109. Let me take a sip of something first. Each week, Leon has fixed expenses of $1,250 at his furniture shop. It costs him $150 to make a chair in the shop, and he sells each chair for $275. What is Leon's profit if he makes and sells 25 chairs in 1 week? Okay, so if I remember this problem, there's a couple ways to do this. I'm going to avoid the handbook answer, and there's nothing wrong with it, by the way. That's probably the first take-through on this. So what I'm going to do is, so basically what the handbook does is takes 275 minus 150, and you get 125 per chair, okay? And then they multiply that by 25. This is the profit per chair. Multiply that by the number of chairs, and they get 3125, okay? And then from that, they subtract the fixed cost of 1250 and get 1875, okay? And that's not too bad, except the computation of this number is a little nasty, and people can make errors on that. I don't know if they're putting their answers down because of the error of that multiplication or some procedural issue with the ABCD. So the answer would be the 1875, I believe. 109 would be A. So let's try to look at alternate ways if this approach doesn't leap out at you. Another way to do it is to take to 1250, okay? And divide that by 25. And there you will get $50 a chair. So the fixed expense per chair would be $50. So we could also use that number. Instead of doing it en masse. Same for the 125. Because we can do 125 times 25. There's an easy way to do that. If we do 25 times 25, we get 625. And 25 times 100 is 2,500. So that would also give us the 3125. I'm just showing you guys some alternate aspects to this problem for when I release a remember of it. And I'm not saying the answer is wrong in the handbook at all. It's just fine. Just depends how you think. Because if you're running short on time, you may want to approach it from some of these other angles. Yeah, that's enough more extra details. All right. This one was pretty straightforward. It was just a matter of noticing how much profit a chair you get. There were 25 chairs, and the 1250 matters. By the way, this isn't a good example, by the way, this problem. Based on even their answer and the two thoughts I just showed, that they're not trying to give you ugly numbers here. The math all works out. It's all multiples of 5 and 50 and 25. All the numbers are involving that. So as long as that insight eventually taps you on the shoulder, then you're okay on something like that, all right? All right, so if we go to 110, and I believe this one too has the normal procedural way. So what I'm going to do is they give you that 12 inches is a foot, and then you're going to take 4 times 12 plus 7, which is the number of inches, because it tells us we have 4 feet 7 inches. So that'll give us 55 inches altogether. And then they're going to do a multiplication of 2.54 times 55, which is okay and it's all right. We get 5 times 4 is 0, 2, 25 is 27, 10, 12, and then we're going to get that 0, 7, 2, 1. We don't have to do that one again because it's the same numbers. And we're going to go over twice, and we should get the 139.70 out of that. And this one kind of has two alternate ways to do it, which is that, in fact, that alternate enough, and I say don't do problems in your head. These are quite easy to do in your head, because if 2.54 equals 1 inch, right? Centimeters. Actually, let me make sure this is showing on this guy's screen. Yeah, it is. So 2.54 centimeters equals an inch. Then we can kind of go back and forth. So 12 inches, which is a foot, would be, if we do approximation, 2 times 12 is 24, and that's about half. So plus 6 more. So we get about 30 centimeters equals a foot. Okay? And then if there's 4 of them, we get 30, 60, 90, 120, right? And then we have the 7 inches. So already with 120, we guaranteed it's not E, we guaranteed it's not F. We're almost up to G, and we didn't accommodate the 7-inch part yet. So the answer has to be 8, okay? Right? The answer has to be 8. And we could probably do that flipping on the other side as well. Yeah, if we know that 4 foot 7 inches, we know because we calculated over here was 55. But if we know it's about 50, okay, if it's about 50, then about 50 times about 2.5 is going to give us 100 plus 25, right? So we're already past E, F, and G, so therefore the answer has to be H. All right? So there's ways to double check this and get this done in seconds even. In fact, I would even go so far as to say on this one, don't even go this route. Just do this quick estimate. And again, they're making the numbers work for you, right? Because this is 55. That's why I just had 125, and I've ruled out E, F, and G, because it's not even including the 0.04 part and so on. So we know it has to be higher. And you have two really quick ways. Not to say that the actual real way wasn't too bad either. So this real 110 and 109, what was 109? 109 wasn't too bad either, and nor was 108 with the yellow handballs. As long as you practice and understand these things, these were not too bad at all. In fact, I would say they were not even involved. And this gets back to what the SHSAT's about. If you have the mastery of the math, and not just the knowledge, but the ability to read the word problems and other things like that, then you guys are all good to go. All right? And it just falls in place. That said, the last 3 problems didn't have nasty questions on them. All right. So where are we? Okay, 111 could argue would be nasty. So let's take our time with it. All right, let me make sure that fits on the screen. Actually, let me make sure 111 shows on your screen for starters. No, it doesn't. Okay, so let me drag it over here. Okay, there you guys go. So we have J, K, L, and M. And again, normally put your letters on top, or at least be consistent, because you want to put different numbers in different places. And 3/8. So we have 4 points on the line. That one's 3/8. Again, we don't know what's the scale here. So this could be 0, and that could be 10 million. We don't know yet, right? So and then it says on the number line, JK, which is from here to here, is 3.5. Okay, JM which is from here to here, is 9 3/4. Okay. LM, which is from here to here, is 1 and then 1/8. Okay, let me just make sure I have that JKLM in order. K is 3/8. JK is 3 1/2. JM is 9 3/4. And LM is 1 1/8. What is the position of point L? So that's the question of the day. What is that? All right. All right, so if you can't figure this out straight out, just start computing numbers and just take it one at a time. For instance, if you think the distance should be here and you can't figure it out, then see if you can figure out something else. Okay, and just keep doing that till all of a sudden the problem starts making sense to you. Because the truth of the matter is, there's probably 2 ways to solve this, and maybe even 3. And either filling in this number, that distance, right? We have 2 distances here, a long distance, so we could probably figure out this, or even this here. Okay? So we can figure that out, but we don't know about some of the other stuff. So why don't we fill that in for starters? Because we don't know how to get L, and there's not a direct route to it. And this is similar to when you have the angle problems, by the way. If you have some weird contraction they give you, and they're going to tell you the angle over here is something, and somehow you have to figure out the angle out here. That's how you have to keep ricocheting off all these different angles and points until you finally get to that last step from the first step. And it's almost like a little maze. Well, sometimes these problems are that way too. You know, sometimes they'll leap out at you, but if they don't leap out at you, you just have to start filling in numbers till it starts making sense. And lucky there's only about 3 numbers we can fill in. So it's not like we're going to be filling in 100. If there was extra superfluous angles or extra superfluous dots, then we'd have to approach it somehow logically or something. But at this point, there's no logical solution because we need L. And to get L, we need the ricochet of the M or K probably. And we don't know what they are yet. All right? We just know what K is. But we don't know the distance from there to there. So it can get confusing. So let's try to figure out what M is. All right? So what we're going to do is take the 9 3/4 and subtract 3 1/2 from it. So that's the same as 9 3/4 minus 3 2/4. And we get 6 1/4. Let's see, 9 3/4. Right. So that's 6 1/4, and that's the distance right here. Okay. So now the next step is let's use that to figure out point M, because if K is 3/8, 3/8 should give us M. All right? By the way, we could have done the other subtraction here as well, by the way, to figure that out. In fact, that's what we're going to do. So this becomes 6 2/8 plus 3/8 equals 6 5/8. So that's what M is. M is 6 5/8. And then we have 6 5/8 minus this length here. Oh, sorry, I have to convert this. Minus 1 1/4. No, we get 6 4/8. So we get 5 1/2. And that should be the answer. What question is this? 111. 111 is 5 1/2, yes. There's a couple ways to do this. We could have also calculated J, which I think is the way the answer in the handbook does it. And there's probably even a third way to do it still. In all the choices I see there, and so they have about 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they have about 4 subtractions like I had as well. On this kind of example, it's probably unavoidable. And just make sure you label everything and put it down. This is the problem you don't want to do when you had this. There's too many numbers, there's too many 8s. In fact, I just made a slight goof up there. So be careful what you guys are doing. All right? All right, so 112. Okay, 112 is one of those ones again, where, so it says we have 4x minus 3y equals 12. What is x in terms of y? So we have to end up with x equals something. That's all they're asking for. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're trying to get x by itself. So we're going to add 3y to both sides. So we get 4x equals 12 plus 3y, right? And then we're going to divide both sides by 4, and that's what we get. So this is one of these problems where I don't even need to look at the answer because I know that this is not going to be one of the answers. Okay, and if I look, I don't see it. All right? So what they've done is they basically split it into 12 over 4 plus 3 over y over 4, right? We can take the numerator and split it down. We get 12 over 4 plus 3y over 4. So that's that. So this becomes 3 plus 3y over 4, which I didn't look at the answers yet. We can flip these back and forth and get 3y over 4 plus 3. So let's see if any of them match at any of these choices here, because they give interim. The mid-step answers are valid answers too. In other words, once we get this, they may twist it to other forms. So that's what you need to watch out for. Let's see what we have here. It seems to be either this or this one. So we have plus 3. So it rules out E and F. And we get 3/4 y and minus 3/4 y. So I believe it's the positive one. 112 is G. Yep, there we go. All right. So be careful with these ones because you can make a little goof up after you get the right answer. In other words, this is the right answer. You solved for x. Now what? Okay? So the now what is they're giving you the different forms. You could argue this is a simplified form. And again, they could have put G as 3 plus 3/4 y. That would have been fine too. All right, let me make sure we're going live still. Still see some people out there. Please say hello. Try to guess the answers and so on as well. All right, so what do we have? We have 2 more questions. All right. And we're making good time. What do I have? We're not even half an hour in. All right, so that's good. All right, let me drag the thing over. All right, so we're going to look at the illustration first, as usual. Servings of fruit and vegetables. So the left-hand column is the number of servings of fruits and vegetables, and the right-hand side is the number of students who apparently ate that number of servings of fruit and vegetables. So I say left-hand side going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the right-hand side is 5, 7, 3, 4, 6, 4, 0, 1. All right, so I'm going to probably need a piece of paper. We didn't read the problem yet. And we could ask ourselves questions like, it appears to be saying the number of students who had 5 servings of fruits and vegetables is 1, and the number of students who had 3 fruit and vegetables is 4. And most likely we're going to tally those up the right-hand side. So we have 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 3 is 15, plus 4 and 1 is 20. So I believe we have 20 students. All right, so let me just draw this table real quick. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have 5, 7, 3, 4, 5, 7, 3, 4, 0, 1. 5, 7, 3, 4, 0, 1, 5, 7, 3, 4, 0, 1. Okay, good. All right, so I think we got what the table's about. So there are 20 students in the class. So in other words, this will turn out to be 20. The frequency table above shows the number of students in the class who ate 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 servings of fruit and vegetables yesterday. Okay. What is the mean number of servings of fruits and vegetables eaten yesterday per student in class? Okay, I'm going to try to shrink this down one. This is normally when this, because some of the answers are not showing. Okay, we seem to have done that. Okay, let me see if it's showing on you guys' screen. Yes, it is. Okay, great. Okay, we should be able to solve this without seeing the answers, though. All right. So what we need to do is calculate the number of servings altogether. So first of all, this one we don't need to be involved with because nobody ate 4 servings. Okay, and nobody ate, and 5 people ate 0, but it's not going to come in there. It's not going to come in the calculations. So we'll need to worry about this. So 7 times 1 is 7. This times this is 6. This times this is 12. And this times this is 5. So we get 17, 24. I believe we get 30. I just did it. I did it going back from the last number up, and let me do it from the top number down. 13, 25, 30. Okay. So we have 30 servings. And 20 students. Okay, and the question is, what is the mean number? So it's the total of the things, which would be 30, right? The average is the total of the numbers over the number of numbers, over 20. And that's 3/2 or 1.5. I'm not sure what form. That looks like it's A. 113 is A. Yep. All right, so this was reasonable. It's just a matter of interpreting the thing. If you didn't know to take each line this way and multiply them, I think that's the killer enough things. Some kids may have just gotten to 20 and averaged out the 0 to 5 and gotten 2, 2.5, and divided 2.5 into 20. That's probably what enough kids did. All right. 114 looks like it's showing on the screen already. A paste is made by mixing the following ingredients by weight. I don't think we saw an example of this nature on this form yet. And however, it appears in a lot of SHSATs. Okay? So a paste is made by mixing the following ingredients by weight. 4 parts powder. So we basically have powder, which is 4 to 3 parts water. 2 parts resin. And 1 part hardener. Let me just make sure I copied that right. 4 parts powder. 3 parts water. 2 parts resin. And 1 part hardener. Okay, and this is similar to what I did here when I don't have that paper anymore. What did I do with that paper? With the, you know, where I do this tally over here. When you see these kind of problems, you just automatically set this up. When you see a problem like this, you also just automatically set this up this way. So you match it up, make sure it's right, then add up the sum of the parts. So we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 6, 10. So we have 10 parts. Okay? And this also maps to mean that this is 4/10 the paste, 3/10 the water, 2/10 the resin, and 1/10 the hardener, just to be clear here. All right? So with all that in mind, a billboard requires 30 pounds of paste. How many total pounds of resin are required for the billboard? So we're going to take the 2/10 here, right? Because this is what I'm talking about resin. So we're going to get 2/10 of 30. And that means 2/10 times 30. All right? And we're going to get 60 over that, 60 over 10, and that equals 6. And they probably have 6 as one of the answers, but that's not good enough because it wants to know it for 4 billboards. So we're going to get 24. 6 times 4 is 24. The answer should be G there. We could have added that into the 30 and made it 120. So we get 2/10 of 120. Right? We would have gotten 240 over 10 then. That's still 24. All right? And we are done. We have gotten through one of the forms. Okay, what I'm going to do is, I still need to decide whether I'm going to do Form B or not, but the next thing we're going to cover is definitely the grade 9 material. There's a bunch of grade 9 SHSAT questions. We'll do that next and then decide what to do after that based on you guys' feedback and so on. Please email me your questions. I have a ton more streams. I'm going to go through this at least enough for the grade 9 example, and then we'll decide from there. I think today means, I believe that from today onward, there's 30 days until the first day of the SHSAT. The SHSAT occurs over the span of about 2 weeks, and the very first one, normally for grade 8, is going to be in about 30 days. So start prepping yourself, start pacing yourself, start figuring out your strategy, hone down your test-taking skills, find out what your strengths and weaknesses are, and really go for them. There's bound to be some material that you never saw before in your life here, mathematically or ELA-wise. If you're not sure about what precise language means, well, look that up and study it. If you're not sure maybe what some of the comma rules are, read about them. If you're not sure what square root is about, read about them. Some of you have never covered probability in your classes. So go online and look at the probability examples similar to those. And not just examples. You're trying to learn what the core math is. You can learn what the core English is. Understand why the thing exists. You're going to have to take a fast track because some of these topics will not be covered over weeks and weeks and weeks of class. But still. All right. Anyway, peace out. Please like the video. Please subscribe to my channel. And email me if you guys have any questions. Peace out.